Overview: Sikhism is a monotheistic religion. It was founded in Punjab, India in 1469 by our first Sikh Guru. His name was Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Sikhism is actually a pretty modern, practical, and logical religion. It's very modern because it's only about 540 years old, so it's pretty young. It's one of the youngest religions in the world. It's also very practical because we don't believe in rituals. We don't think we need to fast or sacrifice animals or go on pilgrimages or believe in omens. And we don't think there's a special worship day, so we think all days you should be worshiping. There's no particular day that's holier than another. And we also think it's pretty logical, which we'll talk about later. So, as I said before, Sikhism is a pretty young religion, but it's also the world's 5th largest religion in the world today. There's about 30 million Sikhs worldwide, and about 1 million live in the United States. And there's a popular misconception that Sikhism is a part of Hinduism or a sect of Islam, but it's actually a completely separate religion. We believe in equality, and we think all men and women are equals. And our first Sikh Guru, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, actually wrote this in our holy book, the Sri Guru Granth Sahib, and it just shows how we implemented it very early on. And almost on every slide, you'll kind of see the theme of equality. And lastly, we convey the message that everyone should respect religion or others' religions, and we think all religions are equally good, and religion is just a medium to reach God. So we don't preach in conversion or anything.
There are 3 basic principles of Sikhism that every Sikh tries to follow. The first is Nam Japo, which means meditation. It can be broken down into Nam, which means name, and Japo, which means repeat. Nam Japo tells us that we should repeat God's name over and over again, and we should never forget it. We do this by meditating and thinking about God in our mind. Kirtkaro means having an honest living, and it tells us that we must work hard to earn our place in society, and we should always live honestly. It tells us that we shouldn't have our background based on lies. And then Vanchako means to serve other people, and that we should do seva, which means to serve other people without expecting anything in return. It tells us that we shouldn't wait for someone to come help us, but rather us going to someone to help them. One way that people do this is by serving free food called langar to anyone. Sikhs also do this by contributing 10% of their income or wealth to the society or needy people. This is called the svan. These principles help Sikhs to avoid the 5 sins of ego, which are lust, anger, greed, attachment, and pride. Our first Guru said that greater than truth is truthful living.
So you guys must be wondering what we define God as. So our holy book, Sri Guru Granth Sahib, actually starts with the definition of God. It starts with Ekunkar, which means there's only one God, and He's the universal creator. Sat Nam, which means His name is the truth. Karta Purakh, He is the creator of everything. Nirbhav, He is without fear. Nirvaid, He is without hate. Akal Murth, He is beyond time and space. Ajuni, He is beyond birth and death. Saibam, He is self-existent, so He is self-created. And He is Gur Prasad, so He is existent by the Guru's grace. So this is what our definition of God is. Another core belief that we follow is that we think that all Sikhs should live in a family life. We think a normal family life is no barrier to salvation. And even our Sikh Gurus actually had families, and so they had a life full of friends and family, so they showed us to live life with family. And we also believe that what goes around comes around. So if you do good, you'll receive good. If you do bad, you'll have to face the consequences. And we also prohibit smoking, drinking alcohol, or doing other drugs.
The word Sikh comes from Sikhna, which means to learn. So that tells us that a Sikh is a student or a learner. Every student needs a teacher, and the Sikh Gurus are our teachers. In Sanskrit, Guru means the person who brings us from darkness to lightness, and we get that from Gu, which means darkness, and Ru, which means lightness. We don't worship the Sikh Gurus, we just trust them and we follow them.
So we actually have 10 human Sikh Gurus. They are spiritual teachers. And the Sikh tradition actually begins with the birth of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, which is our first Sikh Guru, who started the faith in 1469. And after Guru Nanak Dev Ji, each Guru passed on the Guruship and told us who would be the next Guru or teacher. And so our fifth Guru, Guru Arjan Dev Ji, he actually became the first martyr in Sikh history. And so he actually sacrificed his life for society in 1606. And he was actually tortured for 5 days and became the first martyr. And our ninth Guru, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, he sacrificed his life for human rights. So he saved Hinduism in 1675. So what happened was that during the time, the Muslim king was actually forcing conversions. And so our ninth Guru, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, said that if you can convert me into practicing Islam, then you have the right to convert others. But if you don't have me convert, then you will not be able to convert other people to Islam. And so he actually was tortured because they were trying to have him convert, but he didn't convert. So actually he saved Hinduism in that way. So he sacrificed his life for human rights. And then our 10th Sikh Guru, Guru Gobind Singh Ji, he was our last human Guru. So in the year 1708, he bestowed the Guruship to the Guru Granth Sahib Ji. So he compiled the Guru Granth Sahib Ji and said that from now on, you will learn from the Guru Granth Sahib. And so he said that our 11th and final teacher will be the Guru Granth Sahib Ji.
The Shri Guru Granth Sahib is the Sikh's only holy scripture. It's our current Guru and it's our 11th Guru. The language it's written in is called Gurbani, and it's the Punjabi language. It contains 1,430 pages of hymns, which are praises of God, written by Gurus, Hindus, and Muslim saints. All these hymns are in poetry form. Each hymn starts with the name of the composer and the melody or the rag in which you can sing that hymn. Whenever you read from the Shri Guru Granth Sahib, you sing it in the form of a song with that tune or the rag which is written in. It doesn't contain any stories of any human being, and like the Gurus, Sikhs do not worship the Shri Guru Granth Sahib. We respect it and we follow it. We read the Shri Guru Granth Sahib whenever there is a celebration in our religion, like a birthday, a marriage, when someone buys a new house, or when someone dies. The Shri Guru Granth Sahib is kept in the place of worship, which is called the Gurudwara.
So before we go on, I just want to ask, are there any questions? Okay.
Smart group.
I know.
Yeah, she's got a question in the back.
Yeah.
What is the significance of your hair? Hair 16 long?
Yes, we don't cut it at all. Yeah.
We'll talk about that. That's one of the next couple slides. So, yep. So we're all sitting in a Gurdwara, as I said before, and Gurdwara is actually made up of two words, Guru and Dwara. So Guru, as we said before, was teacher, and Dwara means door. So a Gurdwara is actually the gateway to the Guru's house, to his teachings. And so in the Gurdwara, everyone is welcome, regardless of the religion. They're offered shelter. People stay the night here if they need somewhere to stay. They're offered food. And everyone sits together like we are now, and it's considered as we're all considered equals, so no one is considered an outsider. And all gurdwaras have a community kitchen, which is free vegetarian food called langar. We will actually be eating that at the end today. And everyone sits together on the floor because it kind of symbolizes how we should live life down to earth. And the only holy scripture, the Shri Guru Granth Sahib, is kept in the Gurdwara, and that's the only scripture we follow. And there are actually two services in a Gurdwara, the Prakash and the Sukhasan. So like tonight, we will be moving the Guru Granth Sahib from here to the Sukhasan room. So that's called Sukhasan. So we put Guru Granth Sahib Ji to the room. And then in the morning, we bring the Guru Granth Sahib from the room back to the main place. And that's called the Prakash Seva. And so in the morning, when we bring the Guru Granth Sahib to the Palki Sahib, we actually open the Guru Granth Sahib to a random page. And whatever page it lands on, the hymn on the top left corner is called the Hukam. So that's like the order of the day. So our goal is to try to follow that order and make that day following that order. So those are some of the main ceremonies.
Yeah. Question at the back.
Going back just a little bit, you said that you open your doors to anyone.
Yes.
Does that mean that you would help the homeless
Yes.
in this area? They would
Exactly, and that's how we started. Our philosophy of homelessness and help started there. So,
Everybody's welcome.
Yeah.
Oh my God, especially this cold.
and that's what the main
Came to
philosophy.
home, we'll come and sit together and eat.
The philosophy of gurus is to
We're
open it to everyone.
You come and sit with just normal people and eat together and sit peacefully.
Yeah. Thank you.
The Harmandir Sahib is also called the Golden Temple. It's the sixth holiest shrine. It was founded in 1604 by our fifth Guru, Guru Angad Dev Ji. And the Harmandir Sahib's foundation stone was laid down by a Muslim saint Mia Mir in 1588. So think about it. This is the sixth holiest shrine, like the thing they love the most. And to start it, they let someone of a different religion do it. It has 4 doors, one on each side, welcoming people from all directions, which symbolizes openness and acceptance. Like every Gurdwara, the Harmandir Sahib feeds about 80,000 people every weekday. On weekend, this number doubles.
So Sikhism actually promotes equality, and like we said before, I already said that we all believe in equality of mankind, equality of man and woman, and so there are actually special ways Sikhs are actually named. Like I said before, when we in the morning we bring the Guru Granth Sahib to the main place. We take out the hukam, like the order of the day. So our first name actually comes from the first letter of the hukam. So let's say the day I was born, the hukam started with an R. So that's why my parents named me Rabjot. So like that, our first name is decided from the hukam. And so like that, our last name is also decided. Our actually 10th Sikh Guru, Guru Gobind Singh Ji, he actually freed us from the caste system, because during that time, it was if your place in society was determined by your last name. And so he said from now on, all males should adopt the last name Singh, which means lion, and all females should adopt the last name Gaur, which means princess. So in that way, he got rid of the caste system and promoted equality.
In 1699, our 10th Guru, Guru Gobind Singh Ji, created a Khalsa, which is a baptized Sikh. He gave the Khalsa their own identity and told them that they had to have 5 things on them at all time. The first is a kanga, which is a small comb to keep our uncut hair clean. The second is a gada, which is a steel bracelet, which has no beginning or end, which means God is endless. You wear it so that when you're about to do something bad, you can look at it and it can remind you not to do it. It's also like a handcuff connecting us to God, so that God can guide us throughout our lives. And to answer your question, the kesh is our uncut hair. It's a gift from God. It symbolizes our modesty and our fidelity. And then the kara, the kachera are undershorts or boxers. These also show modesty and fidelity. And then there's the kirpan, which is a small ceremonial sword, which symbolizes freedom, justice, and strength.
So in 2013, so last year, Stanford University actually did a study called Turban Myths. So in the study they had said they showed random people in the public a picture of a Sikh man, and they actually found that about 70% of people can't recognize a Sikh if you show them a picture of him, which was kind of surprising because about 99% of people wearing turbans in America are actually Sikhs. And they also found that about 50% associate the turban with Islam, and they think it's a part of Islam. So that's just a popular misconception that we're trying to educate people about. And the turban actually helps Sikhs to stand out in a crowd, so they're bound to offer help. Young Sikh boys actually wear patkas like my brother, and in the picture over there. And then as they get older, then they transfer over to a turban, which is at the bottom right here. And a turban is actually about 5 to 6 yards of fabric. And Sikhs actually are ordered to live life as saint soldiers or sant sipahi. So the saint part represents how we should be devoted to God and we should serve mankind. And actually, a long time ago, like Jesus and Ram and Muhammad, they all had long hair. So that's kind of another reason why we keep our long hair, to be saints. And then we are also told to be sipahi, which are soldiers. So it says, according to the situation, adopt the role of a soldier. So if you see someone needing help, you should go help them. That's what the saint soldiers represent.
The Nishan Sahib is the flag of Sikhism. Its color is saffron, which represents courage and sacrifice. This is seen outside every single Gurdwara. It is a triangular shaped and has a khanda on it. The khanda is another symbol of Sikhism. The double-edged sword represents God's power. The circle represents continuity, which means God is endless. The two swords that are on either side show political and spiritual balance. That shows how we should empathize our spiritual thoughts with society.
So basically, you guys saw the Nishan Sahib when you first entered. That's outside every Gurdwara. And then the khanda is right here, and it's just another symbol of Sikhism. So these are just some popular Sikh public faces you might know about. So on the top left is Navraj Singh Bussy. He's actually a football player for the University of Oregon. At the bottom left is Colonel Sekhan. He's actually in the United States Army. Top right is Dr. Moines. He was the Prime Minister of India. He served for two terms, so about 10 years. Bottom right is Narinder Singh Kapani. He is the father of fiber optics. And in the middle down at the bottom is Fauja Singh. He is actually the oldest marathon runner in the world. He's currently about 102. And he actually ran with the torch at the London Olympics. And at the top are 3 soldiers that are also in the United States Army. They're actually doctors. Currently there's a law that says you have to have special approval if you want to wear a turban to serve in the Army. So these 3 are actually the exceptions that they got to serve because they were doctors. And also in DC is the only place where you're allowed to wear a turban and be in the police. So right now we're just trying to get laws passed to try to have allowed Sikhs or people who wear turbans to serve in the Army or in the police. So do we have any questions?
I do. Right in the center is another symbol?
Yes.
What's that a symbol of?
That's the Ekumkar. So when I was talking about the what we define God as. This is just a symbol of Ek Onkar, which means one God. Yeah. No, it's just to look. It looks nice. Yeah.
So in your holy book, you incorporated teachings from both Hinduism and Islam?
Yeah, there's teachings from them, and then there's teachings from Hinduism, Islam. I think there's Buddhism also. So we take different teachings that we think are important, and then our gurus combine them into the Guru Granth Sahib. So we took different teachings from each. Yeah.
Do you have copies of it at home then, or is it just here that you have access?
The Guru Granth Sahib, because I said about the services. So if you have a Guru Granth Sahib at home, you have to do the services in the morning and at night. So if you say you can do it, then we have one at our house, but not everyone does because it's kind of hard to do it in the morning at night. But there's also small ones called gurke. They're like these. So they have like shorter like hymns that you can read. Yeah, there's parts.
Are the ragas written down somehow so you know the tune, or is that something that you learn over time by listening?
Yeah, in the Guru Granth Sahib, whenever a hymn starts, it says Rag, like Gujri. That's an example rag. So then, at the beginning of the hymn, it'll be Ek Onkar, and then it'll say what Guru said wrote the hymn, and then it'll say what rag it was, so in what tune you will sing it in, and then it'll have the hymn.
Rag are the standardized way of music, like the melodies, the standard. There's no change in that.
But their question is like whether it's written somewhere or not.
Yeah, it's written in the Guru Granth Sahib. Yes.
So does that mean then that music lessons are a part of growing up as a...
Yeah, me and my brother actually come learn the harmonium from our Babajis, our priests here. So yes. Yeah.
How many people are in your Sikh community